Hello everyone, this is Ramos and welcome back to my network. Okay, now it's time to show you my Pokemon collection. I am a Gen 1 trainer, so I started my Pokemon journey when Pokemon Red and Blue first came out to the US. And I wanted to take this time to show you my collection. The first thing I want to show is Gen 1. Now keep in mind, the games that are inside are original. These boxes are not. When you're a little kid, you don't really take care of your stuff like the way you're supposed to. So these are replica boxes. You can find them on Etsy, eBay, you name it. Someone has a printout of them, so you can just buy them and make it feel like you have the original stuff. But the original games are inside. I'll take them out for you. So let's start with our journey with the first Pokemon game that I ever got as a little kid. This is my original Pokemon Red. Every single one of these games that you're going to see, I bought them from the store, so I'm the original owner. Now, I could order and replace the sticker, but I don't because it makes it look like there's been years on this game. That's why I'm gonna keep it just the way it is. It it shows that someone played it, you know. So here's my Pokemon Red, and let's do Pokemon. Actually, why are you here? There, it was a thing on the side right there. I didn't want it to show up. So next one up is Blue. I hardly played Blue. I just played it just to get the Blue version is exclusives, so I can transfer it to my Red in order to have a complete Pokedex. Because the first time I ever completed a Pokedex was on Gen 1. So that was my experience with Pokemon. And the next time I completed a Pokedex was on Pokemon Yellow. You see how the wear and tear on it? Yeah, that's how you know someone played it. So when it comes to these, I completed the Pokedex on every single time a new generation came out. So, by the way, what is here? This right here is the Japanese version that came out, which is Pokemon Green. Why don't I have the original Japanese Red and Blue and Green? I don't want to. I just wanted the green one just so that just completion's sake. I played it, don't understand Japanese, and I put it back down. So that is my Gen 1 collection. I will never replace the stickers, and I'm gonna buy cases so I can hang it up on the wall when it comes to these when the time comes. So I don't have a Game Boy Color nor a Game Boy Color or Game Boy Original Pokemon editions because I grew up extremely poor. It was even a miracle that my mother was even able to get me these games when I was little. So I didn't even bother to ask for a special edition. I was just grateful that I had my first Game Boy was a Game Boy Color Purple. I don't know what happened to it. It's been too many years, but I kept the games at least. But I do have a Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Advance SP that I can still play these originals from. I do replace the batteries, perfect condition, and that's the way it's gonna stay. So that's my Gen 1 collection. Now on to my Game Boy Color collections. The first thing I want to mention is that, again, I don't have a Game Boy Color, but I do have the Game Boy games. Keep in mind, the boxes are not original, but the games are. So let's start off with Gen 2. Here they are. The one when Gold and Silver first came out, I got Silver first and then Gold. And I put so many hours into my Pokemon Silver. I love Lugia. I loved it so much. So the battery has been replaced. I did back up the save, so I still kept my original Pokemon in here, and I don't bother trying to transfer them up. I've already explained that in my previous video of my 3DS collection. So that's Pokemon Silver. Pokemon Gold, I only played it just to collect the exclusives and transfer over to Silver. But regardless, I love both of these because even though Gen 1 had serious issues, I mean astronomical issues, but they were the stepping stone for Gen 2 to be even better than Gen 1. And we even got Gen 1 into Gen 2 once you beat the Elite Four. So I absolutely love it. Now, Pokemon Crystal, original one. Mine. See, new battery. These little guys, when Pokemon Crystal first came out, and we have animated sprites, it blew my little mind when I was a little kid. I wanted to collect every single Pokemon just to see what their sprite animation was, and I loved it. They still have their own problems, but they're significantly better than Gen 1, introducing the Dark type and Steel type, because Psychic Pokemon were just way too OP in Gen 1. But I love it. Now, I don't have the Pokemon console editions like the N64s and the GameCube. Like I said, I grew up poor. I didn't even dare to ask my mother to buy me such expensive consoles and games. So I was happy with the mobile versions. And plus, I love it. You know, that's my Gen 1 collection. Oh, almost forgot. I have Pokemon trading card game. The box is a replica. However, the game inside is not a replica. It's the original one. You gotta give me a break, guys. When you're a little kid and these are cardboard boxes, they're not going to withstand the test of time. But this is my original trading card game. If you got it before the eShop closed, you were able to buy the digital version of it. And you can now play it on Nintendo Switch if you have the package that allows you to play the Game Boy Color game. So you can still play this one, but I prefer the original software. Why? Because I'm a boomer. I'm a boomer gamer. What do you want me to do? So that is my Game Boy Color collection. Also, I'm never gonna buy the original boxes because if you go anywhere online, the boxes are in terrible shape and they're asking for like $200 plus. No, I cannot justify buying a beat up box for $200. It's just not logical at all. So I'm not even going to. I'm more than happy with the replicas. I like collection, but there's gotta be some logic to it. So just wanted to explain that part. Now we can start the Game Boy Advance collections. The first one up is Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red Team for the Game Boy Advance. So I have my original Game Boy Advance and my Game Boy Advance SP. I haven't modded them. These are originals and I don't plan on modding them. The reason why, I would like to have a modded one. I'll just buy a used one and mod it, but I want to keep the ones that my parents bought me original. And if I want to have like a better screen, I can just plug these Game Boy Colors, Game Boy Colors or Game Boy Advance into my DS consoles and it'll work just fine. I don't need to touch these. They're gonna stay just as is. So first one up is Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red Team. I played it. I love it. If you like cute stories with Pokemon, this one was really good. Now, it does have a partner one, which is Pokemon Rescue Team Blue, and I'll get to that in a moment when we get to the DS games. But this one, love it. Original, not the box, obviously. I figure I'm fine with this copy. It's not that much of a big deal. Okay. Next one up is going to be Gen 3. Cardboard boxes are replicas. These are not original. But the games inside are definitely original. So, oh, we don't have enough camera space. Hold on, let me. There we go. There we go. Now we can see them all. Now, I'm going to age myself a bit, but when Pokemon Gen 3 came out, Where was I? I think I was in freshman year of high school. Hold on. Can we check this? When is the license? 2005. Yeah, I was in high school when these games came out. That's how old I am. I am boomer. Okay. We were spoiled on these. So let's start with Pokemon Ruby. Now, when they first came out, I did purchase Pokemon Red and Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire at the same time, but I played Ruby more, and then I just transferred the versions to this one. So I completed the Pokédex in Pokemon Ruby, and recently I did replace both batteries, so they're good to go. Now, later, Pokemon Leaf Green and Fire Red came out, so I bought both of them at the exact same time. So here's the original. So the bad thing about it is if you want to collect now from Gen 1 and Gen 3 and even Gen 4, there's so many fake ones. And there's a lot of videos out there that show you, that teach you how to spot the fake ones from the original ones. There we go. And if you want to know so you don't get scammed, look up those kind of videos of how to spot fake Pokemon games, and they'll teach you how to tell if your game is an original or not. Let's see, can I make it appear on camera? Yeah, so you can barely see it, but it's there. So these, I fell in love all over again with Gen 1. I love Gen 3, don't get me wrong. You know, too much water can go to hell. But because I'm a Gen 1, I absolutely love the first Gen 1 remix. And in my opinion, these two are better than Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. You know I'm right. You know it. Don't argue with me. So, I absolutely played the heck out of them. And I did keep the original wireless adapter so you can trade, no more cables and stuff like that. Back in the old days, we had to use cables. And these are great. So you just connect it to the top of here, and then the other one as well. You can just trade Pokemon and just be relatively in the same room, and it'll work. So next, Pokemon Emerald. Pokemon Emerald, when it first came out, I bought it. I just went up to the store and then, can I get a copy? Yeah, sure, here you go. And that's the advantage of being a boomer. You can buy them from the store. You don't have to worry about fakes. You should have been born earlier if you want a collection. But yeah, see, you can barely tell this. Do you see this little doohickey right here that keeps shining? That's how you can tell that they're real. These are not fake. The fake ones cannot replicate this. And it has a little stamp. Can I make the stamp show up? It's here. Can I mess with this until? There we go. You can see the stamps. There you go, to prove that these are absolutely real. Pokemon Emerald. The reason why it's so expensive is because Pokemon Emerald made, of course, the third versions always improve on the original too. But the reason why it's so good is because Pokemon Emerald introduced the best battle frontier. The first battle tower came out in Pokemon Emerald, but it wasn't as sophisticated as the one in Emerald version because you have so many battle towers take part in. It was the best end game that I've ever experienced until Gen 5, and I'll get to that one later. But I put so many hours into Pokemon Emerald. I love this. So, oh wait, camera, oh, earthquake. So I absolutely love it. If you can't buy one, just go ahead and mod your 3DS if you have one, or emulate it on your PC. Nintendo doesn't support it. Is open seasons for all I care. But I'm lucky enough to have the original. All of these are original, and I'm going to continue playing them. So that's my Gen 3 collection. And also my Nintendo Game Boy Advance collection. So let's move on. By the way, if you were a kid playing on Gen 3, you have one of these. This is a Game Shark. If you wanted codes for rare Pokemon, like for the event ones that you can't get anymore, this is the one. There are other ways you can do it. For me, this is just the easiest, just plug and play. But there are still ways to get yourself event exclusive Pokemon, the mythical Pokemon, but you just gotta do a simple Google and it'll show up. It's not that complex, but I bought it when it first came out, and then I still have it, so it still works perfectly. Love it. Okay, moving on to the next collection. It's going to be Pokemon Coliseum for the Nintendo GameCube. These guys are getting expensive every single day. They're creeping up to like either at or shy of $200 each. So Pokemon Coliseum. So this is where you become kind of like an anti-hero. You steal Pokemon in order to save them. Go figure, right? Because let's look inside. So here's the game. Very nice condition. It's a little scratches, but it's good condition because, like I said, I play my games, but it's still very good condition. You get your manual. We don't get manuals like we used to now anymore. Ooh, be careful. So let's see if I'm able to actually open it. So you get your manual. You'll be able to connect your Game Boy and transfer some of your Gen 3 Pokemon into the Coliseum in order to use your Gen 3 Pokemon. Not in the story mode, of course, but this game is interesting and kind of difficult depending on if you want to do the end game or not. But if you're a Pokemon fan, you know the value of these kind of games. They're rare, especially if they're complete in box. They're very rare. I have fun with it. Despite a lot of critics out there, I still have enjoyed it only because it was different. And we like it when Game Freak and the other companies who own Pokemon try to take a risk. Right now they're playing it way too safe. So we have to look back and say, you know what? Even though it wasn't the absolute best, we're glad that they're taking risk for it. And overall, now it turns out to be a game that a lot of people like to collect because it's, plays on your childhood. Next up, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. So same concept, you try to capture Pokemon that are evil. Not evil, but dark Pokemon. But not the dark type. How can I explain this? Shadow. Oh, Jesus, that took me a long time to get out. So, kind of like the same concept as before. You try to capture Shadow Pokemon and purify them. But for the first time, we had a variant that we had never seen before again, which is Shadow Lugia. We have yet to ever see Shadow Lugia ever come out of a different game other than Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. So let's see what you get inside. So here's our game. A few fingerprints, but it's very good condition. Excellent condition. You get all your manuals. Yes. Subscription to Nintendo Power. If I can get it out. You know what? I really don't want to bother with this too much. I mean, this brings you back, doesn't it? If you grew up on GameCube, which I did not, but... Oh, here are the old Pokemon games. Look at that. Wait, is this? It's the poster. Let me show you the poster. It's nice, isn't it? But yeah, here are the games. The best spin-off ever. You can go in and happily disagree with me at my Twitter or in the comments. It's the worst spin-off ever. But that is it for the GameCube collection. So, and also Gen 3. Alright, let's move on. Now on to the next generation of Pokemon. Want to let you guys know right off the bat, this one's fake, this one's fake. This one I bought it from GameStop. I bought these two for like 20 bucks. They work just as like the original ones. And it has what I need, which is the allowing you to put in your 3rd gen game so you can trade them up to Gen 4 and so on. So these two are fake, but they work just like the originals. I don't mind. There's a game inside here. What is it? It's Pokemon Ranger. I'll explain this later. But yeah, I was playing it recently because I never played Ranger before. So that's the first Ranger game. But these is fake. The original ones, it looks like there's glitter in them. This one don't. But when he said 20 bucks and it works like the original, I said, pick it. You get yourself 20 bucks, it's 20 bucks. This is the DSi Lite. It does not have the insert for the previous Game Boy games. But this is the one that I play the most because I can tear it up any way I want, and it's just a standard. It's nice to have standard ones. Why did I buy hard shell plastic cases for these? I don't know. I don't know, man. I did it. I did it. So, for Gen 4, let me get these out of the way actually, so I can have more space. If you want to know about this mat, don't ask me. I don't know where I bought it. I was probably drunk. So, Gen 4. We have Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, Platinum. Platinum is the 3rd version of these two. Hence, this one's, if you want to play Gen 4, then play Platinum. It's just way better in every sense of the way. If you want to know why, you can look up videos as why Platinum is better than Diamond and Pearl. But luckily, this is where we can start saying that the cases are original and the games inside. These are complete in boxes because when they first came out, I bought them. So, here's Pokemon Diamond. You get your little manuals. They still give out manuals back in the day. And here is the Pokemon game. The problem with Gen 4, they finally started coming out with fake Gen 4 games, so you have to be careful. If you want to find out how to spot fake ones, just look it up on YouTube. There's people who can explain it better than I can that will tell you how to spot a fake one. So, I did play Gen 4, the Diamond and Pearl. I didn't like them. And it's not just because of how slower it is, but Game Freak went way overboard with the HMs, the hidden machines. What was it? Hidden machines? I don't remember. HMs. There was like 7 of them. It was that killed it for me. I was able to play Platinum. I enjoy Platinum, especially because they talked about Giratina more in the Distortion world. Let's see. You guys remember Pokemon Ranch? So here's the join the club. Let's see what else we got. We got a menu, another menu, and there it is. There's Platinum menu right here. I should probably have this one facing first. There we go. So Pokemon Platinum. Absolutely love this game. Despite the overuse of HMs, I loved it. Recommended. Buy the original, but it is very expensive right now. If that's not in your budget, then emulate it on your PC or on your modded 3DS. You will not regret playing Pokemon Platinum. And then actually, when it comes to Brilliant Diamond and Shiny Pearl, they help you when it comes to the HMs. But despite that, Platinum is still a better version of the Gen 4 games than even the new ones that came out for the Switch. So if you're gonna play Gen 4, Platinum, that's the one you want. Now we're not done with the Gen 4 family. Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. These are also, what is it about Gen 4 being so expensive? But I do have the original when it first came out. Just walked into Walmart. Hey, can I get Heart Gold and Soul Silver? Yeah, here you go. And I bought them. Advantages of being boomers. But Pokemon Heart Gold, Soul Silver, the best remakes to date. They still haven't made a remake of a previous game that comes close to Heart Gold, Soul Silver. The only ones that come close is Fire Red and Leaf Greens. Are great, great versions of the first gens. So the remakes of the first gens, phenomenal, love it. But these are just way better. Now I do have the Pokewalker. I should really buy a case to protect these because the box have seen better days. But let me show you what's inside. Now inside would have been this guy right here, but you come with little manuals, and here is this is the little case that you can put your Pokewalker and then put it around your belt or something. It is for you to walk with. And here's the Pokewalker. I have never used the Poke. You see, even the plastic that separates the battery is still there. So that's what you get if you would have bought it when it first came out. If you didn't, you should have been bored earlier. I don't know what to tell you. Now, I play more Soul Silver than Heart Gold because it's the same thing with the silver. I like Lugia more, so sue me. Here is, now keep in mind, be careful when you're trying to collect them. There's still a lot of fake ones out there. So just be careful when you're out there collecting, okay? You don't want to be scammed and paying high price for these and turns out to be fake. Just be careful. If you don't want to be scammed, emulated PC, 3DS, you're better off than buying original one. If your original one, they're gonna come at a high price, but these are worth it. If you're a collector, these are absolutely worth it. And because I'm a Lugia fan, I play this one more. Now these does have the same issue when it comes to these, and that is they overuse HMs here as well. So everything that gets you around the map is an HM, which is a big pain in the butt. But despite that, incredible games, and they play off each other great. Because if you happen to get oh my goodness, I am blanking out on the name of the god Pokemon. I'll put it up in the screen because I completely forgot. I'm drawing the blank here. If you get it from Platinum or the fourth gems and transfer over here, there's an event. They play off each other great. If you want to know, just look it up. It'll be worth it. I'm just showing you my collection. So I absolutely love these games. Okay, next one up. Gen 5. I love Gen 5. When it comes to Gen 5, Pokemon White and Pokemon Black, these games, they took a risk. When you first started these games, all the original, all the Pokemon before Gen 5 were locked out. You could only play with Gen 5 until you beat the Elite Four. I thought that was great because that way you don't get bored playing the same formula because you're playing with new Pokemon. Love it. The story is great. These, when it comes to these kind of games, the one thing that sticks out to me the most is that the seasons change. I love it. We haven't had that ever since. Now, we recently got Gen 4 remakes. So that means Gen 5 remakes are next in line. And I worry about these games because, no, actually, no, I don't. Because if I don't like it, I'm gonna buy them, but I'm not going to play them. I'll just stick with the original ones if they happen to butcher it. And the reason why I'm worried about it is because Gen 5 is different from the other gens. And by I mean by that is we didn't get a third version of it. Instead, what we got was follow-ups. So think of it as exactly like the way the names say, white 2 and black 2. So let me show you what they are inside. We have Pokemon Black. That way you can see the inside. Oh, and there's Victini. I remember the event for this. Oh, I don't wanna. Ooh, there we go. It's already vented. I'll probably do something else in order to make it not so bent. There we go. That'll do for now. That'll do. Good job, Ramos. So here's the original ones. Can I? There we go. So here's what I mean. These are sequels, meaning this is the first time we had a direct Pokemon game. The ones after the original ones that actually follow up the story of these. These take place 2 years after the first one, and there's a cool feature that if you have more than one DS, which I have 3, 2 of them are fake, but they still work great. You can have a feature where the part 2 recognizes part 1 and the dialogue is different. Amazing. And by far one of the best stories. And here's the funny thing. These Pokemon Emerald, Pokemon Platinum, and Pokemon White 2 and Black 2 are one of the most expensive games. And the reason why is because until I want to say Scarlet and Violet, we didn't have a good story since Black 2 and White 2. These stories are amazing. So not only did we had a huge national dex compared to its time, the story was great. Love it. And Black 2 and White 2, they have the best battle frontier. The best. Absolutely 100% until they the kings when it comes to the battle frontier. No one else comes close. So if you want to have a really good challenge, White 2, Black 2. You'll know what I mean. If you don't know, then just look it up on YouTube to explain why these are so sought after. Like again, these are very expensive. I got them when they first came out, so I pay retail price. If you try to jump into it now, it's not going to work. By the way, these codes are already claimed, so don't even worry about it. And plus, it's already closed. Yeah, if you want the best challenge in these two, that's why they're so expensive, because of the battle frontier, the story, and because it's a great sequel to the first Black and White. That's why they're very expensive. Either emulate it on PC or on your 3DS. You will not regret playing these games. I absolutely love it, but I do fear how Game Freak will remake Gen 5, because I don't know if they're going to remake 1 and then remake 2 later, or they're going to remake and put 1 and 2 in one game. I don't know how that's gonna work. I'm scared. Hold me. I don't know what to do, but for now I'm always safe that if I don't like the new ones, then I can just go back to the original ones. So that's where we are right now with these. Now, the DS had crazy amount of spin-off games. So let me show you. My favorite spin-off game, Pokemon Conquest. If you don't have this, this is going up in price. I bought this retail price, but I think the last time I checked, December 23rd, 2023 today. And it's about $100, maybe even more now, for Pokemon Conquest. I love Conquest, but be prepared to sink in hours, hours, and hours. Because the moment the credits roll by, that doesn't mean you're done with the game. You're done with the tutorial. You're just did 10% of the game. This game is so long and it's so good. Oh, so if you have time to spare, play this game. You won't regret it. It's like Pokemon slash Fire Emblem, that kind of style. And it's so good. They haven't made another sequel to this, which is a damn shame. But that's probably why it's so special. It's because there hasn't been another one like this. So if you want to play it and you have the console and you have the money, buy it. If not, emulate it. But worth it. Ugh. I don't know why I made that sound, but I did it. Next, Pokemon Chose. See, the DS, they did so many spin-off games. So think Tetris, but Pokemon. That's I think there's another version of this, but that's as simple as it gets. I don't want to get too into it. Is the game in there? Yeah, it is. Look at that. Huh, there you go. Absolutely love this game. It's good because it's brainless, a little brainless. The best Pokemon spin-off game. I'm kidding. No, there's. I couldn't even finish that with a straight face. So, Pokemon Ranger. Use a DS you don't care about. You will scratch up your screen. There is no avoiding it. Unless you put like a scratch protector on your DS, this guy will mess up your DS screen. So I enjoyed it. At first I didn't get it, but I started playing it more and more and more. And what is this? Use? Yeah. Oh, I did buy this used. I'll be damned. Huh. Anyways, so I bought that one. Oh, you know what? I have more than one. I bought it new and I didn't want to touch it, but I unwrapped it, so I bought a set. Why do I have a second one? Do I have a game in here? I do. I'm probably gonna sell off one and just keep the one of them for me. But Pokemon Ranger is where you don't technically capture them, but you make buddies with them. I don't know, man. It's a weird game. Talk about weird. The next Pokemon Ranger, Shadow of Alma, I like it. I like it better than the original one. So, if you like Pokemon Ranger or you just want to try them out, Shadow of Alma, is it Alma? Almia. I've been saying wrong this whole time. How long have I been saying this wrong? Since 2008. Great. So, love it. And I don't know why I have 3 of them. I don't know. I think I'm at a bottom for friends, and I don't know what happened. Can I dig into my memory that far back enough? It doesn't even matter. Same thing with Pokemon Ranger Guardian Science. I don't like this one. I played it. I stomached it, and this is probably why Rangers died. Is this game right here. But if you want to be a completionist and play all of them, by all means, go for it. I'm a collectionist, but eventually I'll get rid of my additional copies. So let me put these to make more. I'm telling you, there's so many on the DS when it comes to Pokemon. They went crazy. Here is Pokemon Blue Rescue Team. This paired up with Pokemon Advance, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red Team. I prefer the Nintendo DS version because you can use 2 screens. If you use a Game Boy Advance for Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red Team, you only have 1 screen, which they share the map and the gameplay on the same screen. So you're better off playing Blue Rescue Team on the DS because you have two screens, the map on the bottom and the gameplay on top. So I recommend that one. Next one up is Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Darkness. I don't know why I have to. It's been so long. I do not remember why. Here's my OCD kicking in. I don't remember why I have 3 copies of it. One of them is sealed, so I'm probably never gonna open that one. But this is a part of a trio with Pokemon Explorer of Darkness, Pokemon Explorers of Time, and in my opinion, which is the correct one, oops, Pokemon Explorer of Sky. This one, I don't know what is it about the mystery dungeons, but they have such good stories. They're great. They're amazing. Play them, especially Explorers of Sky. If you're gonna play these versions of the Explorers of Sky, and what do we got here? I can open up all of these, but it'll make the video way too long. Just be careful. With, like I said before, there are fake versions of these, so just be careful, okay? They are a little pricey. Their prices are going up when it comes to these kind of games. Here's the Explorers of Darkness and Explorers Time. I don't want to talk too much about the stories because even though they're very old, there's still some people who have never played them and don't know the story. I recommend it. I don't recommend emulating them because they're a pain in the butt. It's better to play them on original hardware. And if you try to, you'll know why. If you don't know, look it up. It's a pain in the butt. But these are the Mystery Dungeon ones. There we go. Also, I don't know why I have a second one. Like I'm telling you, it's been so long, I don't remember why. And that concludes... Why are you here? Why? Go away. That concludes my DS collection. Now, I wish we had more spin-offs. That's all I have to say. Now it's time to talk about my 3DS collections. Real quick with the consoles, I did make a video about my collection before. If you want to hear about the 5 collections of my consoles, look at the previous video and I explained all of them in detail. So real quick, the Nintendo 3DS XL Pikachu Edition. This was my first one. And then the new Nintendo 3DS 20th Anniversary Pokemon Edition. Then there's the new Nintendo 3DS XL Pikachu Edition. These two are not modded. This one is. The new Nintendo 2DS XL Pikachu Edition, not modded. And my new Nintendo 2DS XL Pokeball Edition, this one's highly modified, is homebrewed and the capture card inside of it. And the little bit. Are we all okay? We're alive? Perfect. So, this is what to mention is it has the little button to press on it. So, let me get this out of the way because I won't have space to show off the game. So, hold on real quick. Okay, so the first thing let's talk about is Pokemon X and Y. These were the first Pokemon under the new 3DS console. The community don't like these games. For number one, it introduced the least amount of new Pokemon in the new generation. Number two, this is by far the easiest Pokemon games. The Elite Four were a complete pushover, including the champion. The one thing these games did introduce was Mega Evolutions, which was great. Everybody except for the competitive community enjoyed the Mega Evolutions. I love them because I think they're cool. Now, these don't have a third version or sequel, and we all know the reason why. If you don't, just a quick search on YouTube will explain the reason why. But short story is their team was split up. Game Freak's team was split up to try and create a Pokemon competitor, another IP that competed with Pokemon, which was completely stupid. And because of that, they didn't create a third version or sequel to X and Y. And the third Pokemon, that was the third legendary, was just found in a random cave. But regardless, this did introduce a new gimmick, which was the Mega Evolutions, and by far is my favorite. Now, it's not my favorite Pokemon games, but I still did enjoy them. I enjoyed the 3D use of these games. I couldn't really stand it for too much because it does give me a bit of a headache, but I still enjoy them. Now, they're still cheap. However, since the eShop just closed, they are going to start going up, even the bad ones. So if you want to get one, get them now. Now, after X and Y, now we got some good Pokemon remakes. These are not the best remakes, but damn, do they come close. Pokemon Alpha Sapphire, Pokemon Omega Ruby. These games are a sequel to Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. These are great games. Love it. They still have the Mega Evolutions of it. The story is a little different, but still good. I love it. Not only that, this remix allow you to capture mythical Pokemon that you couldn't get before. The Oxes come standard in this game. You still have to capture it, but it comes standard. Love it. If you love Gen 3 and you want to play the remix, these are you guys. Luckily, the market that makes fake Pokemon games, they haven't caught on to the 3DS as badly as the DS game. So if you want to collect the 3DS games first, because they're going up in prices and the market says, hey, there's no more legitimate games, so let's just make copies and fake ones of them. But love these two. I'm actually play them again. Next one up, Pokemon Sun, Pokemon Moon. Based in Hawaii, and that's the best thing that I can say about these games. Now, I'm not saying these are the worst. X and Y are competing against that title, but Sun and Moon, the from the original games, I actually enjoyed it. I like the different island to island hopping. No more HMs, and I did like the story you were building with the side characters. I did enjoy them. I did. Here's what I did not enjoy. Nope, wrong way. They're sequels. Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. There's not that much difference between the original one. The story does not change hardly little. The final boss, I think from the original ones, was cooler than these ones. Now, I understand where the new boss comes from. I think it's great. The concept of having a really OP Pokemon, and it's one of the most OP Pokemon as if you once you capture it. It is amazing, absolutely great. I just don't like the story, and there's like what, 4 Pokemon that were introduced in this one that are not in this one. So if you're gonna play Sun and Moon, yeah, Ultra Sun and Moon, you'll play these. But when you came from my side, where you buy Sun and Moon first, and then the Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon came out, like, oh, that's exciting, let me go play these. I got burned out quickly because I was playing almost identical games. There's just hardly any difference between the two. So if you're gonna play which one, just play the Ultra versions. It was a complete ripoff, but what can you do? That's in the past now. As they haven't done that again, and hopefully they never will. Now, spin-off games. Mystery Dungeon, Gates of Infinity. Just like these games, nobody really liked this version of Mystery Dungeons. It does have a very difficult end game, but it's a DLC. And if you didn't download it, then pretty much too late. I didn't get the American version, but that's okay. These games are not really sought after, so I never bought them. Now, Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon. I like this one. I did. Like I tell you, the mystery dungeons, they have good stories, so it's worth the play. I did enjoy them. It doesn't come with the manual. Oh, this one did, but this is when manuals were starting to die out. I don't know why I have a second one, and oh, I don't know why. I'm just gonna have to sell them off somehow. But regardless, that's my 3DS collection. Now, for those that are saying like you have a terrible 3DS collection because you only have Pokemon, they're not the best RPGs. I agree with you. I'm just a sucker for them. I will always be a sucker for Pokemon games. They will always have access to my wallet 24/7, whether it's a normal day or holiday. They have access to my money. But I do want to say, I do have Monster Hunter Stories and Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. I like the Monster Hunter series, okay? Bite me. But I just wanted to say this real quick, because this is only for Pokemon collection, but I want to mention that. So let's move on. Now on to the last bit of my collection. I have a Nintendo Switch Lite Pokemon Edition. This is for the 4th gen, for the remix that came out not that long ago. And let's look inside. Look at you guys being able to see my collection and opening boxes. You guys are so spoiled. This one is absolutely brand new. I haven't even turned it on yet. It's still in this plastic. Let's get it out. Now, unlike my DS, this one's not fake. I love it. It looks plain black, right? But here are Palkia and Dialga in the back, and I absolutely love it. Next is my Nintendo Switch Lite. This is for the Pokemon Sword and Shield versions. I've already have it out of the box. I do use this one. However, I don't use I don't actually play it like this. I have a Pro Controller that connects to it. It's a little dirty, but that's only because it has protective screen on it. That way I don't use these up and create drifts. So that's why I have a Pro Controller attached to these. So here is with the color of the legendary Pokemons, the box art Pokemon, when it comes to Zacian and Zamazento. Here they are on the back. Love it. So I do use this one a lot. I do have a lot of games installed into this. It's a good console. I like it. So this one travels with me. This one has gone to Turkey with me, Taiwan, Philippines. So I love it because when I travel, I put in a hard case wherever I go. So that way it's always protected. Even the joysticks are protected. So wherever I go, if I do take it out, it's so protected. I love it. Next, the Nintendo Switch Pikachu and Eevee edition with the Pokeball Plus, which is right here. I'm making noise. If you got this one that first came out, this is a brand new Pokeball, and when you connect it to your game, you do get a Mew with this. However, if you try to buy it now, it is so expensive. It is not worth it. There are other ways to get Mew that are better. So don't spend your money on this. It's a cool thing to have, but it's not worth the money. Now it's not worth the money. So what do we get when you buy this one? By the way, there is a Eevee version, but that's the Japanese version, and I did not want the Japanese version, as I just don't see a need for it. Plus, I told you guys before, I'm a big Pikachu fan. So this is what you get. You get the controls with the color theme of Pikachu and Eevee. I think they're... Do I have them correct? Is this just my OCD kicking in? It's just my OCD kicking in. So I do keep this. I used to use this one a lot. Unfortunately, at one point, the fan went out. So I took it to a repair shop and they replaced the fan. So it has been open before, but that doesn't matter because I don't buy things to resell them. I buy them to keep it nice on my walls. So I played this one. This was my main console before the next one I'm going to show you. But I do love my Pikachu and Eevee edition. Love it. I think it's great. So now it has deserved a good rest. Inside is the manuals, the stand for it, the charger for it. But it's just having the special edition that's always nice. I'm not going to take it out because it's just going to be too much work to put it back in. But love it. Love it. I got one more console to show you. Let's go back to the Eevee, the Pikachu and Eevee edition. I hope I don't knock out my camera. In this recording, I have knocked down my camera so many times because I don't have a proper stand for it. I should be more thorough when it comes to me displaying my collection. See, this one has been open, but what can I do when the fan gave out and needed to be replaced? I can probably take this off now. I'll do it later. Okay, I should be more thorough when I'm displaying my consoles. So here's the Eevee and Pikachu edition. I keep saying Eevee first. I don't know why, but I do like it because here is Eevee and Pikachu all over the back. This one has been open because the fan gave out. There's nothing I can do. I had to take it in to get the fan replaced. But these guys fixed it for me and they were wonderful. I love it. They fixed it for me on the same day. But special editions, I can't resist. Here are the little Joy-Cons. Not Joy-Cons, but the handles. Oh, okay. I thought I knocked down my camera. I knocked it down so many times. It comes with the controller handle, but I don't use this ever. I rather buy a pro controller, get that worn out before the actual Joy-Cons, because these don't have drift because I don't ever use them. Okay, next is the dock. I should have showed you guys this when I was first showing this, but I'm not a professional at this, so please forgive me. Or don't. Either your way. Here's the dock. Here's Eevee. And here's Pikachu. That's it. But here's the dock. I do love these. One day I'll have it up in my wall displaying very nicely. But just wanted to show you what the dock looks like if you get the Pikachu and Eevee edition. And I'm not going to get the Eevee edition because it's just Japanese. And why would I buy that? It doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, and that's actually the true opening of a Nintendo Switch Pikachu and Eevee version. Look, even the tag has both of them in there. I love it. It's great. Okay, last console. The Nintendo Switch Pokemon Scarlet and Violet edition. This is the OLED version of it. Now, here's the funny thing. I have one, but I do have two. The reason why is because I want to have one to use and another one to display. I don't plan on reselling, like I said before. I'm not a reseller, I'm a collector. But I collect things as they come out. So this was very difficult to get because the scalpers was like everywhere. So here's what you get. So here is the Scarlet version Joy-Con, and here is the Violet version of the Joy-Cons. The one that I use is up in this dock right now, so I'm just going to be showing the one that has not been turned on. Now, this one, this special edition for Switch, the Pokemon one is my favorite one. Not the Zelda, Not the, what's that game called with the squids? Splatoon. No, it's this one. I love it. I think it's the best one because I love the color, the design in the back. It looks like it's graffiti and it has all the three starters. I I love it. I think it's amazing. Here are little for Coco, little kitty. I forgot Quackling. Yeah, but I picked this one when I first started my Gen 9 journey. And then for my second one, I picked for Coco. I don't like you. I don't apologize for anyone who's a fan of them. I don't. Fight me. Now for the docking. Come on. Everything else I'm not really going to take out. It's just your normal wires. Okay. So here is the... isn't that beautiful? Look at that scarlet color. And that violet. Oh, they look so great. And if you can tell, depending on the angle, you can see a little design framing these two. Oh, I bumped the camera. But I absolutely... Look at the diamond, the shape patterns here. Can I get it for this one? No. But I love it. And it has a little Pokeball here. This is where the wires can come throughout, so it's cleaner. I love it. This is my favorite special edition OLED. Love it. They're still expensive, but they're not as crazy expensive as the 3DSs, because the 3DSs, they're coming up to the price of Switches, or sometimes even more depending on the edition, which special edition you're trying to get. So I'm glad I got them now. And this, I still remember the scalpers trying to get these OLED versions of Pokemon. Oh, it was horrible. Now, even though I have two, they're not. Everything that I showed you is not for sale. I just want to flex my collection. There's people with better collections than mine, but you can't beat them all. Where's my monitor for this? Where did I put it? Oh, it's right here next to me. That would have been the snake. That would have gotten me a whole bunch of times. There we go. Because there are some console editions that I don't have, from the Game Boy Color all the way till the Switch. There's some special edition ones that are just either way too expensive, or rare, or legendary, like the Thunderbolt Switch editions. There's no way I can justify spending like $3,000 for a version like that. If you got the money, great, flex it. I don't. I do have money, but not Thunderbolt edition money. You know what I mean? I stay in my lane, is what I'm trying to say. I stay in my lane. Oh, Speedy Gatito. It's right there. See? Oh, Speedy Gatito. There we go. So those are the consoles. So we can move on to the games. Worst remakes of Gen 1. However, these are not supposed to be a remake of Gen 1 all over again. These are supposed to tie with Pokemon Go. That's why the capture mechanic to capturing Pokemon here is different from all the other Pokemon games, and it has yet to ever be used again. You have to use your joysticks to throw the Pokeball and capture them. It's a pain in the ass because every time I throw straight, it's like I'm best Major League Baseball player, because I always throw curveballs every single time and I miss. And buying this does not help. I think it makes it even worse, because when you try to throw your Pokeball, it's never dead center. It's a pain in the ass, and I don't recommend it. However, they do look great. I mean, they do look so good. I just don't like the capture mechanic. But as far as visuals, I love it. Love it. And you can ride your Pokemon? Come on. There's so many Pokemon you can use to ride or to fly with. They haven't used it again. I want them to use it. It is amazing. I love it. And that's the reason why I still play these two. You can actually play with someone else in this game, but it make them completely broken. You'll steamroll throughout the whole game, but it's great. Do I recommend it? Yes. Yes, I do. I just don't like the capture mechanic. That's just a skill issue. What do you want me to say? But these were the first Pokemon games on Switch. Love it. Next one up. Pokemon Pokemon Sword and Shield. Gen 8. When it first came out, I was negative about it only because of getting rid of the national decks. I still say that was a poor excuse. The reason they say that's the reason why they couldn't keep the national decks. I think still it's until today I still think it's a poor decision. But is it a good game? Yes. Horrible end game from the base game. Don't like the end game at all. But I do like the fact that they introduced the gimmick of Gigantamax. And I did skip the gimmick of Gen 7, which was the Z-types, but it's completely forgettable. Nonetheless, Gigantamax and Dynamax gimmick, I didn't like it, but it did grow me because I did like the some of them that had the Gigantamax editions, which was a different version of it. I did enjoy that. The 2 DLCs that came with it, I also enjoyed it because they brought back a mythical that we couldn't get back. Won't spoil it for you, but it did came out from Gen 5. Mythical Pokemon that we couldn't get anymore until the DLCs came out. And they introduced some broken Pokemon. But regardless, I do like them. They did give us so many customization options when it comes to our clothes, which was taken away from us in Gen 9. I never forgiven them for that. Looking back at it, it's like, okay, it wasn't that bad. We didn't have all our Pokemon, fine. But as long as you stay outside the open area, the game played wonderful. I do enjoy this. And the DLCs as well. I did enjoy the DLCs. Love it. Oh, almost forgot. You get rewarded handsomely, visually. If you complete the Pokedex, you get some crowns. Crowns! Next up, Pokemon Shining Pearl, Brilliant Diamond. The fans were not happy about these. They were happy that were remakes of Gen 4 were coming out, so because there's a lot of passionate Gen 4 fans. They love Gen 4. And they were happy when these were coming out, but when they came out, no one was happy about it. Why? It's because they're too faithful to the original Pearl and Diamond. What I mean by that is that there was Pokemon Platinum. They should have had a lot of the upgrades from Platinum into Shining Pearl and Brilliant Diamond, and they did not. And they took away other features as well, like the contest. I'm not really a contest person, but I understand why people enjoyed it. And it became such a mundane and boring, including what else? What else did they do wrong about this one? No, was there a battle? Yeah, there was a battle tower in this one, but it's not as good as the original ones. The only thing I can't, okay, so one thing positive that I can say about these games is you have a permanent HM slave. You don't have to dedicate a slot. So I did like that because remember, Gen 4, they went way overboard when it comes to the HMs in the original versions. These remakes, if you hated the HMs, these fixed it. And I do give them props for that, and I do enjoy it. The other thing people didn't like is because of the chibi style. I don't mind it. Do I like it? No, but do I don't like it? I'm neutral to it. It doesn't bother me, but I do understand why people didn't like the chibi style. It just didn't fit the narrative of it. I do like that it went back to like top down. I did. That one I did enjoy. The underground, I do like it because it gives you a chance to capture so many other Pokemon, because fire Pokemon were rare in Gen 4. Platinum did fix that, but they were rare on the original Gen 4. The remakes fixed that, and the remakes of Gen 4 does have a lot of previous Pokemon. So if you're trying to collect a national dex without going back to the old Pokemon games, this one has a ton of them, so that way you can start your Pokemon National Pokedex journey. These are good for that. So there are some positives for it. Pokemon Legend Arceus, brilliant, love it, get it, play it. So this is based on Gen 4's past, and the capture mechanic, I wish they would have kept it in Gen 9, but the capture mechanic here is amazing. The story is great actually, and if you complete a national dex here in Pokemon Legend Arceus and capture Arceus, that's the name I was trying to remember back. Then you can capture Arceus here. If they recognize that you have a complete Pokedex here, you can capture Arceus here, which is great. You can get a lot of mythical Gen 4 Pokemon here, but you have to play this game. I don't know if they're ever gonna make another one like this. We all hope so, because it sold great, but that doesn't guarantee that Game Freak and Pokemon Company, and then the third one that owns Pokemon, is going to make another Pokemon Legends. We want it. We need it. Give me another one. So that's that. Play it. Love it. Oh boy. Where do I start? When Pokemon Violet and Scarlet, or Scarlet and Violet first came out, people roasted the hell out of this game. And the way they did it is because we have new generation of Pokemon fans. They just roast worse than us boomers, because we just go on online forums and complain, right? The newer generation of Pokemon fans, I'm proud of you for this. They capture footage of all the bugs and performance issues, and they plastered it everywhere on social media: YouTube, Twitter, TikTok. What other ones are there? Facebook, and so they blasted it everywhere in social media, roasting the developers for releasing a terrible performing game. The frame rates, I'm pretty sure my Game Boy Advance gets better frame rates than these games. They're not optimized correctly. And the bugs on this game, your character would turn his head 360 like it was in The Exorcist. I mean, this game, people didn't like it when it first came out. They say that it was the worst Pokemon game that came out because of the performance. And you know what? I 100% agreed. These are the worst performing Pokemon games that ever came out. Now, that's the negative. The second negative was again, we didn't have a national dex. Number 3 is, compared to Pokemon Generation 6 X and Y, the champion of the Elite Fours was it was easy. It was cakewalk. You just steamroll the champion of this game. Now on to the positive. The visuals. Like, if this was, it's almost like this game was made just for competitive in mind, because when you're in a Pokemon battle and you can see the Pokemon, the textures are wonderful. The Pokemon look amazing in this game. So you can see like the scales of Viper, for example, or if you see Blastoise, now that the both DLCs are out, you can see Blastoise shell and you can see the texture, and this animations finally be fixed. So it's great. I do love the raid mechanic. It's better than the Gen 8 raid mechanics. These ones are better in my opinion. I don't like the crystallization gimmick. Now, its function is great. I love it. 10 out of 10. But it just gets a simple, what do you call it? It's those little ring pops on their head. That's all they get. And the little crystal. No, 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 no. They could have done so much better. It feels like these games were way too rushed, and I feel like for a long time after Gen 5, every one of these Pokemon games have been rushed. The crystallizations don't look good. We could have special crystallization variants like we did with Gen 8 when it comes to Dynamax and Gigantamax. We could have had that, but we didn't. Now, I did enjoy the story. The three main stories where you go through the gyms, the Elite Four, the Titans, and that Team Stars. I guess you want to call them. Yeah, I did enjoy it, including the last bit of the story at the very end. That one, I have to say the story was amazing. Love it. And the DLCs, both of them came out recently. I like the DLCs, especially how they tied everything as on the last DLC, the second DLC, the Indigo Disc. I do see that's great. I love it. I have nothing bad to say. The only thing that stayed consistently bad is the performance, but at this point we're over that now. We know it's there and this that. But because we roasted them so bad, the developers finally comment on it saying that our games are bad. They could not see all the postings of it. So they did mention they do want to do better. I'm not going to hold them to it because I just don't believe Game Freak and Pokemon Company can make a good performing game, but hopefully we'll see. And we're coming down to the very last. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. This is a remake of the original Mystery Dungeon Red Team and Blue Team. I like it. So if you like the original one and you want to play it on Switch, go for it. Finally, new Pokemon Snap. I don't have a single Pokemon game from N64 and GameCube. I'm not really interested in them. Maybe I will get them later on, but it's not something I want to get in a rush. But I do enjoy. Actually, I will get them, but in time, not right now. So Pokemon Snap, you just take creepy pictures of Pokemon and then you just send them just to get criticized and go back out there again. But if you're a casual gamer and you like Pokemon, yeah, this is the one. So that's my Pokemon collection. I hope you all have enjoyed it, and I'll probably do an update on this when the next Pokemon games come out. But that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching my collection, my video, and viewers, behave yourself. And if you don't, invite me. Okay, bye.